So just got done watching an episode of Babylon 5, The War Prayer, episode number 7, I believe. So it starts with a friend of Delin, another Mimpari. They're sitting there talking about old times. Apparently this lady is a singer, and she's here to do some to sing, do a couple of performances. So she gets up and leaves, and she gets attacked. It happens very quick, very fast, and you find out, she doesn't have any memory of who did it. She didn't get to see them. And Delin, of course, is very upset and puts a lot of pressure on Sinclair and says, hey, you need to do something about this. You need to do better. I'm tired of your platitudes. So you basically find out with a discussion between Sinclair and Garibaldi that this has been going on for some time. Okay. This is not the first attack. Okay. So this episode deals with a few things: racism, xenophobia. Okay. There's also Mr. Biggs. He is guess the ex-boyfriend of Ivanova. She left him to go take this job, in Earth at Babylon 5. Then there's another thing going on, a little situation going on with Veer Koto's cousin. Him and his girlfriend have snuck away with some stolen credit chips. And I guess they're in arranged marriages. So Veer's cousin, the boy, he has to marry the ugliest woman in Centauri, according to him. And his girlfriend, she has to marry both teenagers, by the way. She has to marry a man who's old enough to be her grandfather. So neither one of them want to marry these people. So they sneak away to Babylon 5. They got caught. So they get put, Commander Sinclair gives them over to Orlando Malari's custody. Okay. So these are the basic storylines, the three basic storylines that are going on. The alien attacks, the thing with Veer's younger cousin and his girlfriend, and pretty much Commander Ivanova's ex-boyfriend trying to romance her and get back in her life. Okay, so long story short, these human beings who are going around shooting aliens in the head with a PPG at the lowest setting. Okay, the lowest setting, I guess it doesn't kill them. Okay, but they attack a bunch of different aliens. They end up attacking the two young lovers, the Centauri lovers. Okay, and that pretty much all these three stories intersect. So they keep looking for a break. And they can't get a break. Luckily enough, there's a guy named Roberts. I don't know exactly what he did. He looked like some kind of dock worker. If you watch Babylon 5, they have certain people like dock workers and other positions. He looks like some dock worker or somebody with one of those type of jobs, service jobs. And apparently he gets caught. He had a knife on him, and the knife has blood on him. So they think that he may have attacked one of the aliens. Okay, there's a couple, like I said. There's a Minbari singer who gets attacked. There's another alien diplomat who also gets attacked. So they find out that the blood doesn't match any of the aliens. That is his blood, Robert's blood. He says he cut himself. Now the thing is, though, Mr. Roberts doesn't like aliens. He basically says they're crap, and he agrees with the attacks. So they let the guy loose, and they keep him under red level surveillance. Okay, hopefully he'll go out there and he'll meet up with they want to use him as bait. He seems like the type of person that these human beings who are attacking people might try and recruit. Now, luckily enough, Malcolm, Mr. Malcolm Biggs, who is Ivanova's old boyfriend, goes there and contacts him. All right. And since the security has this guy under, he contacts Robert. Since security has Roberts under investigation, red level investigation, they hear this conversation. He's telling him, hey, you know what? You can be part of our group. We don't like aliens. We need to get rid of these aliens. You can join us. So they know this. They believe that Ivanova's old boyfriend had something to do with this group. So Ivanova invites her old boyfriend to a party, and Commander Sinclair is acting a little rough, a little nasty to the aliens because he says that, hey, these type of people like making friends in high places. Okay, so they chat it up. He tells them, makes some little comments. I hate these stinking aliens. You know, I fought on the battle of the line, and the only good alien is a dead alien, and I have to pretend to like them even when I don't. No, that type of stuff. So Malcolm, of course, wants a little. He wants a little proof. He wants a little proof. So tells them to go. So basically, they go up there and they have a meeting, and Sinclair and Garibaldi tell everybody that, hey, these people have left Babylon 5. They back to Earth, so y'all can stop worrying. And then when the aliens are like, hey, okay, what are their names? You identified them. No, that's classified. I can't tell you that. So this is what Malcolm wanted done to gain his trust, okay? Later on, they go and they have another little get together. He's telling them, hey, I'll take you to meet some of my other people in my group. But you have to kill somebody. You have to kill one of the alien diplomats, which of course they don't do. And they end up arrested. Security comes in, they arrest Malcolm. They have a little shootout. Everything's all good. Honestly, the best part of this episode, surprisingly enough, to me, was actually little scenes with Milano Malari, and he's dealing with the two teenagers and Virkoto, and he's explaining, they kind of going back and forth a little bit. See, Centauri society, basically, if you're rich and wealthy, you do arranged marriage. They have a lot of arranged marriages and stuff like that. So he's telling Vera that screw who they love, and marriage ain't about love. They need to go ahead and go back. Dude needs to marry the ugliest chick in Centauri, and this chick needs to marry this man who's old enough to be her grandfather, because that family that's tradition. So it's a lot about that. Londo at some point has a conversation when Virkoto's cousin gets attacked. He has a conversation with the Minbari, the female who was a singer. She got attacked as well. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I don't remember her name. Okay. She seemed like actually like a nice actor, but they never brought her back. But anyways, she's having a conversation with Londo, and they're talking about love and stuff. And basically she's telling him, well, love is more important than just tradition and all that. Virkoto has the same conversation with him, and Londo tells him about the story about his father, how his father was in the room crying, and he said his shoes was too tight, but he said guess it doesn't matter because he's forgotten how to dance. And that has an effect on Londo. He changes his mind at the end, and he says he's going to send the two teenagers back, one of his relatives, who's going to take them in, okay, and he's going to foster them, which I guess is a law or something in a planet where ancient tradition where you can foster people. And since it's very prestigious to be fostered by his house, his cousin's house, basically the parents aren't going to say anything. Okay. And once they get grown, he'll let them decide who they want to marry. So it's odd because that actually was the most interesting part of the episode, seeing like more about Centauri culture. Because actually, to me, Centauri culture was became one of the most interesting things on this show. Londo has the best part in this episode. G'Kar was there too, being a rebel rouser. He was he had like one interesting scene. He was about to start a riot. Basically, G'Kar believes that the command staff are basically letting these humans attack the aliens. Okay, they they're human and aliens are human. So he says, hey, you're not trying to stop these guys. You're in on it. Okay. I think they actually should have let the riot actually start. That would have been more interesting. This episode, man, I don't really watch it all that much. I don't hate it and I don't love it. It's just one that's never, it never stood out that much to me. And the weird thing is, actually, it's not a bad episode. Well, it wasn't written poorly or anything. The it's well written. Okay, it's just, I don't know. Just, it's not one that really stood out that much to me. It's not one I watch that much. Once in a blue moon, I just go back and watch it every now and then. The most interesting thing, like I said, was with the stuff with Londo, where you found out a little bit more about Centauri culture, and then also you kind of see the beginning. Each episode, little by little, you're starting to see certain things that's going to develop later on. Like you see that there's hatred against aliens. Okay, the anti-alien sentiment. Okay, because Ivanovan's old boyfriend, he basically tells him at one point that they had a plan to assassinate all the ambassadors on the station, and that's really why they needed a friend in high command to get them off. He needed Sinclair or Garibaldi or her or somebody who could get them off station. Okay, and also once they assassinated the aliens on the station, that was going to be a signal for them to assassinate some alien ambassadors back home. So you start to see that. Okay, and that's something that pays out later on in the series. You see a lot of anti-alien hatred. That one lady, I'm sorry, I cannot remember her name, the Minbari singer, who was a friend of Lynn. I actually liked her. I liked the actor. I feel like they should have brought her back. I don't, to the best of my memory, I don't think she ever came back. I thought they could have developed her character a little bit more. Another thing, they had this cool technology, like this camouflage technology. That was supposed to be experimental. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't went through all the whole Babylon 5 series in a long time. I don't remember them having that technology again. You would think that'd be some cool technology that somebody will use again. Um, 'Cause that's what this Babylon 5 does that sometimes. Like, they'll introduce some cool ideas and don't really use it that many times. A lot of science fiction does that. They introduce interesting characters or cool technology, and it's like, yeah, you don't really see it that much anymore. Because they have these things called changing nets, which I don't think you ever really saw too much of. I think maybe one episode or something like that. But I would like to have seen these this cool camouflage technology. I would like to have seen them use that a few more times, which, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think they used. I don't think they used it again after this episode or at all. Yeah, maybe they did once or twice, but I don't remember it. I don't remember using that technology again. I would like to have seen that again. But to beyond that, it was nice seeing a little bit more of Ivanova's past. In every episode, they give you a little tidbit of this character, that character. So you see that, she values duty and career over, romance, which is cool. But I don't know. There wasn't a lot to remember about this episode, man. It's really like nothing special. Like I said, nothing really special about this episode. It's not a horrible episode, but to me, it wasn't a standout. It wasn't even really the best episode, one of the best episodes in the first season. Okay. The big thing about the first season you really see is that, for the most part, the show is just starting to it's finding its way. And that's the thing. There's some good episodes in the first season, but for the most part, this is all set up for what comes next. Which you really start seeing this show hit its stride in the second season. I mean, like I said, if you're a big Babylon 5 fan, it's definitely worth watching these old episodes again. But they weren't the best. They weren't the best. Okay, some like I said, about maybe 3 or 4 of them were really good, but the majority of them, I don't really watch that much. But hey, it's worth a watch.